And we're on.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Inside MusiCast Live. We're with Kiki Ebsen today. Kiki, thanks for
Yes.
joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
And of
yeah.
course, this is Rick Such and my co-host, Eddie Cabello.
Hello
And
there.
we haven't gone live in a while, but we thought we'd give it a shot here today. Kiki, we were going live quite a bit during the whole pandemic, and when people were at home and nobody could get out, and so it was a real nice avenue for us to stay in touch with a lot of musicians. So this is fun to start this up again. We're glad you're with us today. And the main reason you're here today is because you've got a brand new album that's called "Fill Me Up," and it was released on Painted Pony Records, and I think it came out in about a month ago, January. Right?
Yeah, it came out on my birthday, January 14th.
Oh,
Awesome! Happy belated. And this is your 8th studio album, and with your first album was Red, and that dated back to like 1994. And just if you can talk to us about this new album and what your focus was with these 10 new tracks on the record.
Well, I really wanted to do an original record, and I'd done I did a Joni Mitchell record, and then I did a jazz record, Scarecrow Sessions, that was in honor of my father and his career. A lot of standards on that. So, but I'm a singer-songwriter, and I wanted to go back to that element of what I did as an artist. And I had some new songs, but I also was looking into some older demo tapes of mine and found some songs that I hadn't recorded and that were kind of cool. So I brought them back and to a different light. And they sounded, they stood up to the new songs. And so it's sort of a mixture of the two. And I really just, wanted to make a record. It's like the music business has changed so much. And a lot of people are kind of like, well, why bother? And, well, it's because that's what we do. And I get to express myself, my emotions. I'm a very heartfelt songwriter. So, that was the impetus. And I also wanted it to be simple and live, in the sense that I wanted live musicians. I didn't want a lot of demoed tracks, sequence tracks. I wanted the basics to be live. So we did the whole record live. We did the basics live and overdubbed, obviously, the vocals and things like that.
Yeah. So when you say that, these are songs that, you dug deep into your archives to sort of bring to light, how far back did you go? Because the reason I asked that is because I love one of my favorite albums of yours is Red. And this new album, Fill Me Up, it reminds me a lot of that one from, a musical perspective, and especially kind of the overall sound. Is that fair to say? Did you dig back that far, or
I
tell me a
did
little bit?
actually. There were a couple of songs like "Old Love Never Dies." I was playing well before I recorded Red, and "Change My Mind" was back in that era, and even "Fill Me Up." Was kind of a couple of years after I did Red, and when I was preparing for my next record. So I was like, every every artist, like, oh, it's not good enough, or I don't know, I don't know. And I still have others, like I still have songs for another record, that of songs up that didn't make the Red record. So, but a couple of those were from that era, and so I'm glad to hear you say that because I love this record like I love my Red record. Like I feel like this is my new evolution, and it's 26 years later or something like
yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of neat to be excited about music still.
Yeah. Looking at your catalog, if anyone is familiar with your catalog of music over the years, one thing that they will surely say is there's a lot of variety. There's some you can play almost any style. And like, for instance, one of the new tracks that you have on the album is called Dead End Places. And when I heard that, I'm like, whoa, has that 60s vibe thing going. Then the guitar and the Ringo-esque type of drum pattern. And I'm like, boy, you're living some old vibes here. Tell us about that track, because I love that. I thought it was so fun.
Yeah, I do too.
It is a super fun track. Again, a track that I had years ago was like, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
And it was a lot of times I will sort of dream a song and I'll dream the sound of it. And it has nothing to do with what I'm doing when I wake up. But I'm like, I got to do this song. And I played it, I remember trying to put it on a record, a couple decades ago, and the producer's like, nah, it doesn't fit with anything else. So I just discarded it.
Yeah.
I found it on a demo tape and went, God, this is a fun song. So I took it to my guitar player right now, who's Grant Geisman, who's like freaking
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Of course.
And he's a 60s freak. Like, he's a Beatles guy. And he just went to town on it and had such great ideas. And even down to the drum beat, which I was trying to play it, live, and I was trying to communicate to the drummer, like, the vibe, and I couldn't. The drummer didn't get it, and Grant finally, after waiting, like, going, okay, man, it's like Mercy beat with 14% swing. I went, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Mercy beat, 14%. And he was very specific about the amount of swing. And I was like,
Holy
you
cow.
are like such a brilliant guy. And then he put all these great guitars down, and we just, we just love it. We love it. It's like one of his great features of the record.
Yeah, Grant's awesome, and we had him on the show, but it's been quite a while, Eddie. I can't even remember when it was. It was well over 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, he is a genius. I love everything he touches. He's good.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
The track "Take My Time." I love this track, and this is a song that is about slowing down, and at least from what I took from it, is slowing down, unwinding, and just finding time for the important things in life. And you wrote this, from what I understand, when you were attending the Telluride Bluegrass Festival. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually, I was on a little tour, little songwriter tour with a friend of mine, and we were going through Colorado and Arizona, and we just happened to be there during the Bluegrass Festival. And Telluride, if you've been there, it's
Sure.
just gorgeous, nestled against the Rockies, and beautiful little houses. And so I happened to be, we weren't actually in the festival at that time when I got that idea for the song. We were hiking in the mountains above the festival under a full moon. And it was misty, the moon was kind of misty, and the Rockies were lit up by the moon, and the sound of the band was coming up. It was the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. I remember they were playing.
Oh, wow.
And it was like this really like ethereal sound, and the music was just like wafting around. And I was like so moved by the moment, which, it was just such a moment in time. And I just went back and I, picked up a guitar, which I'm, limited to those 3 chords basically. I wrote this song as just a release of the moment. And again, put it on a tape, never looked at it again until recently. And because this was back in 2003. The other thing that was kind of poignant at the time was my father was coming towards the end of his life. So when I left on this tour, he was having strokes, and when I said goodbye to him, it might have been the last time I was going to see him. And actually, when I did come back off the tour, he went in the hospital, and I had a few more moments with him. But time was precious, and I felt the message of this song was like, just enjoy it. Don't get so mad, and go take a break and go for a hike, or let it go. So I'm glad I actually did the song, because I thought it was just going to be a little like sketch, a music sketch, but it turned into a full-fledged song. And then the addition of the fiddler was so poignant because of the Bluegrass Festival. I just heard fiddle on it. That was, I wanted it to be fun and kind of that kind of vibe. And this guy, Gabe Witcher, he has a band, and he travels around and plays the Bluegrass Festivals. And he's just a pretty brilliant player.
Well, everything fit really nicely. Everything was very cohesive, and it was a perfect song. Very nice done. Nicely done. Yeah.
When I heard this song, not knowing that backstory that you just gave us, it made me think about, I was trying to decipher, how you may have come up with the lyrics, and it made me think about, you and what you might have been and what the influence might have been for the lyrics of the track. And I thought about how, the past few years have been pretty challenging for you, because I remember how you endured those fires that swept through your area, not only endangered, your life and your property, but your horses and the other animals that, you take care of. And of course, we've all been dealing with a pandemic. So did some of that life scenario play into what, was expressed in this track?
Definitely, because we were putting the track together in the time of the pandemic. I mean, over the last couple of years, this album has been coming to life. So a lot of the production element of it and the finishing touches, came through, this strange adversity that we're in. Yet, oddly for me, it's been fairly creative, and I've gotten in touch with myself in a way that I wouldn't have had I been on the outside world, going out and being influenced by so much of the outside. Being here, I'm on a ranch. I'm lucky in the sense
Right.
that I enjoy being surrounded by nature. I enjoy my solitude. I have a wonderful husband who is also a fireman, who was very much involved in that Woolsey fire. He's also my sound man. He's over here to the right, keeping everything together. He's amazing. But we've both grown so much by having to, be here with each other for a lot of the time. And then I think there's such a great opportunity to explore yourself. And
Yeah.
I'm in a like a intense state of self-study right now, which has proven to be really great for me as a singer and as a creative artist.
It's nice.
Well, we noticed you're sitting at the piano, and I think you've agreed to play a couple songs. So, are you ready? You want to dive
Sure.
in and try one?
Yeah.
What do you have for us?
What are we going to hear today? What are we going to
I'm
play?
gonna play. I think I'll play "Keep You on My Mind." That's a
Okay,
really
awesome.
pretty ballad from
Excellent.
the record. Get set up here.
Eddie has a piano there in the background where he can play a duet with you if you want.
Yeah, I do chopsticks with you. I do a mean chopsticks in B flat. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
B flat. Okay. I will jam on that later.
All right.
All right.
Smell of coffee and scrambled eggs, and a voice that calls my name. It don't take much to keep you on my mind. My out of tune piano plays as I sing an old refrain. It don't take much to keep you on my mind. As I remember loving you like it was only yesterday. Oh, then I to you when you did not have the words to say. Baby, I don't know what's wrong here, and it tears me up inside. But it don't take much to keep you on my mind. It don't take much to keep you on my mind. Wrapped in blankets, it's cold outside, the fire's burning bright. No, it don't take much to keep you on my mind. Cinnamon old red flannel shirt that keeps me warm at night. No, it don't take much to keep you on my mind. Wish I could apologize, but I don't know what I've done wrong. And if you can't tell me now, then what's the lesson in it all? Oh, baby, I haven't got a clue here. I only tried to do you right, but it don't take much to keep you on my mind. It don't take much to keep you on my mind. And for a moment in this darkness, I might wait for you. But when the sun comes, I will wake up, finally waking up. ocean meets the sky. Oh, it don't take much to keep you on my mind. Final toast above the coast where the day turns into night. Oh, it don't take much to keep you on my mind. It was there I let go of you. In the shade I stole you away. Fire smoldering. And in its dying embers I hear you say, baby, I don't belong here. I stayed way beyond our time. But it don't take much to keep you on my mind. It don't take much to keep you on my mind.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for playing that. And it's funny because right before we started the interview, that's the song I was listening to. I had that rolling, and it's not one of the songs that I latched onto when I first heard the album, but as I've listened to it more, that one, it's like that's the one I catch myself singing to myself quite a bit. It's very hooky, and it's a beautiful ballad. So thanks for playing that.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
So I was trying to think, the first time I was trying to think of how we actually met you, because you've been on our show a couple of times before. And I think it was Christopher Cross who introduced us to you.
I'm pretty sure it was Christopher. Yeah. Yeah.
Because we came to one of his shows here in Indianapolis, and we interviewed him, and I think at the end of the interview, Eddie, I think he said, yeah, you're muted, by the way, Eddie. and he said, you've got to have Kiki on your show because she's so talented and she's going to be perfect. So you got to meet Kiki.
He's been very, very supportive and of this record too. I sent it to him and he really loved it and was super complimentary about it.
We were real happy. We had him on the show recently, Eddie. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about no. Everybody's been through this whole thing through the pandemic, and Christopher has been through it in a different way, and everybody knows the struggle that he had. But he's looking so much better right now. He's looking so much better. I'm glad he's doing well.
Yeah, he really had a hard time. Really hard time.
Hey, one thing that Rick and I know is that you love the music of Joni Mitchell. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's not a secret, really, is it?
No. Well, no, I have a tribute band.
Right.
So no,
Right.
I have a website devoted to it. I know I'm nutty about her music, and I've it's been 7 years now, I think, that I've had this band, and we play regularly at the Laguna Festival of the Arts, and we were doing a lot of gigs around town until everything closed down. We actually, though, we did do a gig at Spaghettini's last fall. It opened up, Seal Beach in California opened up for like a month,
Really?
and then it closed down.
Yeah.
But so hopefully we'll be back.
Well, a few years ago, the reason we're mentioning that is because a few years ago you released Cool Songs Volume 2, which is the music of Joni Mitchell, and where you interpreted a variety of her songs, and you did it really well.
Thank you.
But on this album, your new album, you also included a Joni Mitchell song. It's called Black Cow. And a Black Crow.
Black Crow.
Black Crow. Yeah, I was thinking Steely Dan.
Yes, you were big black crow and get
It's
out.
amazing how one letter can screw up with the whole title of the song, right? But you have Black Crow, and it's really a neat interpretation of this Joni Mitchell tune. Talk to us about that. We love that song.
Oh, thank you. I figured that'd be right up your alley, that Black Crow. I thought it was a cool song, and way back, we were putting tunes together. What we like about the Joni Mitchell project is that it's a diversified set list. So, there's a lot of bands out there that are playing like just the early songs or just blue or whatever, but we'll do everything, like from Sex Kills all the way back to Case of You and River and all that. So, Black Crow, it's not a song I think everybody knows, and it's kind of alty,
Yeah,
alternative with that, dun, 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 the
yeah,
guitar.
right.
And at the time when we first played it, we actually had the other guitar player. We have two guitar players in that band. Actually, Grant Geisman and Terry Woolman play, and we had Terry, who does all the alternate tunings on the guitars, play that part. And so for a while we did it just like the record, and then I started playing the chords on the piano, like when I'd practice it, and I was playing on electric piano. I went, "Hey, this is kind of vibey and cool. What if I just did this with the drums?" And we
Yeah.
just started it that way, and it became the new version, and then we ended up recording it. So yeah, this is what we play in our band.
Yeah, it's really nice and vibey. I mean, I love the Rhodes part. I mean, I don't know if there's another track that you actually use an electric piano on it. Is there? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think there's maybe take my time. It's buried though, and this
Okay,
one's
yeah.
really featured.
Yeah,
It's
this
like
was
a
up front.
super
Yeah,
feature.
really up front. Really nice job with it. It's got a
Thank you.
nice vibe. Yeah.
Thank you. I have to give kudos to my husband, Steve. He mixed it and did a heck of a job
Very
getting through all
nice.
those parts. I mean, I was like, our tracks, were like, I'll put this on and tons of vocals. And he weeded through, and especially with guitars and stuff, found just the right way to weave it all together. So I appreciate him so much.
Yeah. Good job, Steve.
Yeah, well, we talked about Grant Geisman earlier and how he played a role in this album, and he was a past Inside MusiCast guest. But another one is James Hara, and of course Ross Pallone, who's
Yeah,
involved, who's been on our show before, and he's also recorded some of the basic tracks for the album. So,
he did. He
um,
spent 2 days with us
so in
initially.
terms of these musicians, did you collaborate with any of these guys in the writing process or the creative aspect of it, or did you have them written and just brought them in to play the parts?
It was written. We came in and they played. They played the parts. I mean, of course, added. I had taken the time to really think about what I wanted in terms of grooves and feels and
Right.
things like that. And we had done a few live shows too, so it wasn't a complete mystery. But they're so incredibly, like Bernie Dressel, the drummer. He is a absolute genius on the drums. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
he is the drummer in Whiplash. I don't know if you know
I didn't know that.
that movie. It's all
Oh,
drums
wow.
basically. But he's
Yeah.
just a huge in-demand session player, and he has a big band, and he plays in a lot of the big bands around town, and just very sought after player. So I was lucky to get him, and he's really into my music, and he also plays in the Joni Mitchell project. So I would just come in, I have a feel, or I say, hey, check out this tune, and I want it to sound like that. And he just did it, and he's like spot on. He does his homework, really studious. And, same with Steve Lawrence, the bass player. And the basic tracks were just Grant, Steve, Bernie, and myself. And then James came over and did them as overdubs. But again, for James Hara, I basically just say, just go. Here's the track. This is what I want. Because he's like a really luxurious player.
He is.
Like, just if you want the bed of beautiful, just gooey guitars, and just beautiful. And so her turn now is made pretty much all James, and he just did the most beautiful stuff on it.
Speaking of James, have you stopped by his Facebook page and seen his little snippets? I think 1 minute or 2 minute, where he's in his small little studio and he's just playing so much feel, and you can just feel exactly what you're saying. He has so much intuitive feel, and he makes his guitar just talk. He has several of these videos on his Facebook page. They're worth going in there and just seeing what a great guitarist does.
Yeah, he's wonderful. I love his playing.
It made me wonder, since you had two amazing guitarists on this album, who played the incredible guitar parts on the Black Crow tune?
Grant Geisman.
Was that Geisman?
That
It
was
sounded more
Grant.
like
Jeez.
Geisman to me,
Yeah,
his style.
that was Grant. And that was one of those beautiful tracks that, captured pretty much live. We did, I don't think we did any real overdubs to that. It's a pretty basic band track. And, to get the interplay with the vocal, I added maybe a couple little vocal parts on there. But that's a song that's really fun for Grant and I to go crazy on live, and we extend it, and we're just improvising around each other. I've done a lot of fun things with Grant too in jazz band situations, where we're doing standards and just, a lot of different kinds of things.
Sure.
I've even played a couple of his songs, but he's just super cool.
Yeah, he's a neat guy.
Super cool player.
Yeah, definitely. My
And
goodness.
then we've also had Ross Pallone on our show before, and I noticed he did some engineering for you. How extensively? What was his part or his role in your album? I know
Well,
he recorded the basic tracks, right?
yeah, and he's just a huge supporter of my music, and we've known each other, from Christopher Cross days,
That's right.
and very encouraging about getting in the studio and like kind of going, come on, I got this studio. Micron Studios belongs to friends of his, and so he arranged it for us to go in there with the band and locked it out for 2 days, and did a lovely job, engineering us. And he also went in when we did the percussion overdubs with Brian Kilgore, who I forgot to mention.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Brian Kilgore, just a small, other fantastic player. Geez, I'm such a bonehead. Went into his studio. We spent a day, and Brian is like this wild. Here's that kitty. He's
Yeah.
this is things. She's a little crazy, so I don't know if she's gonna love me or attack me. She's bored and she's gone.
She's gone.
She'll be back. So he's like this master craftsman with like all these tools and colors and things that he plays percussion on. You just let the track go a few times, and he's just pulling stuff down and shaking things, and congas and timbales, whatever he's got, like little shakers and rattles and things. And I just was mesmerized the whole day. We were there for about 10 hours just watching him do his thing, and setting up different mic techniques for whatever he had. But Ross had worked with him a lot, so he was really wonderful help getting those sounds onto the computer. I was going to say onto tape, but sadly we're onto the hard drive.
Exactly. Well, we know that you're still sitting at the piano. Do you have another tune for us that you'd like to do?
I do. I'm going to play Peace Harmony, which
Okay.
I love this tune. It's also features Grant on the solo, kind of R&B-ish like. It came out of I think I wrote it probably, I don't know, a few years back, but I had just had a rough year, for whatever reason, and I just kind of, how you just kind of go, I'm just done fighting this whole thing. I'm just gonna surrender, and it just came at a moment where I really needed some peace and in a more of a harmonious situation in my life. So a fitting title for it, and I think that it's been. I've dedicated it to so many different moments over the last year where people were just struggling. I've been doing a live stream, which I went on a little break from, but during the pandemic, every night for about a month, and then every Wednesday night.
I know, yeah.
And it was as good for me as it was for everybody else. It really helped us through.
I enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
We did.
Thank you. And so anyway, I'm going to do that song.
All
All right, great.
Heart is open, there's so much to feel. Never known a love so real. The storm it hit me, but it's gone at last. It washed away my wicked past. There's only peace, harmony. That's what I want. Give me peace, harmony. Outside the prison of my own confine, beyond the maze of crooked lines, shivering sands I was so deeply bound. I found my faith on solid ground. I found my peace, harmony. That's what I want. Give me peace, harmony. Ooh, peace, harmony. Take me to your water. Won't you lay me down? Take me to your water and fill me up, fill me up. Heart is open, there's so much to feel. I never known a love so real. Stormy hit me, but it's gone at last. It washed away my wicked past. There's only peace, harmony. That's what I want. Give me peace, harmony. Ooh, peace, harmony. That's what I want. Give me peace, harmony. Yeah, give me peace. Yeah, that's what I want. Give me peace, harmony. Ooh, peace, harmony. That's what I want. Give me peace, harmony. Ooh, yeah. Give me peace and harmony. Ooh,
I think that's something we all need is a little peace and harmony.
I think,
Lord knows.
right?
Man, beautiful song for the times.
That's
Thank you,
beautiful.
Kiki.
Thank you.
The album is Fill Me Up, and it's available now on your website at kikiebsen.com, correct? And
That is right.
and all the proceeds, I think you mentioned, go to the Healing Equine Ranch. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, that's
Awesome.
my.
Tell me just real quick, just for those who don't know, tell us a little bit about the Healing Equine Ranch.
Yeah.
So that's a nonprofit organization that I started. I started rescuing horses about 20 years ago, and I have a little herd that I teach natural horsemanship with an emphasis on human growth and health and awareness and happiness, and sort of more of a mindfulness approach to horsemanship. And what that does is it sort of helps people evolve, emotionally, mentally, and physically, using these beautiful horses that were discarded. And so all the proceeds go to our programs. They go to help the horses and to promote horse rescue in the community. And if you want to find out more, thehealingequineranch.com. I answer all the emails. I'm the main facilitator during the day. I'm with the horses during the day. I'm with the music at night. So.
Yeah.
That's
great.
awesome.
Well, we love what you do on the music side and with the horses, and generally speaking in life. You're a beautiful person, and your music reflects who you are. Thanks for spending time with us. It's been a joy to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I want to thank your husband, Steve, too. And I mentioned that he's a firefighter. My brother's a firefighter. My stepfather was a firefighter. So that's awesome.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, Kiki, thanks again for your time. And it was lovely for you to be able to play some songs for us, too. We appreciate that.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good.
Have a wonderful evening.
You too
right,
now.
take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.